Alright. Hello everyone, I'm your host Rohan Lawrence and welcome to another Star vs. the Forces of Evil vlog. So, I'm just gonna be honest up front, I'm not gonna be talking about the holiday special, the second half of the episode where it talks with Spider with the top hat and the all-seeing eye. To me it wasn't really important, but it was a fine episode, nothing's wrong with it. I just want to focus on the first half of the episode because honestly I think this is the only half that really matters in this case. And I'm going to be talking about the episode, but this video is going to be mostly about how I feel the fan base has kind of turned on Marco Diaz. Which hurts me, because he's my favorite character, and I feel like recently he's just gone through a lot, and people have just not been supportive of him at all. And it really makes me sad. I think it all definitely started happening with the sophomore slump episode, where Marco comes back and, he's super excited. All he does is talk about Muni, but he's not really considerate of other people's feelings. And that includes Jackie, his then girlfriend, which causes them to eventually break up because he can't get over Muni. And I feel like since that episode, people have just kind of been like, well, haha, Marco deserves it. Like, he broke up with Jackie, well, that's what he gets for not being with Star. And I'm just like, what? I feel like there's just a portion of the fan base that's just kind of judging him so unfairly that it's just like anything this guy does is going to be deemed just like completely unlikable. Like, I've seen the comments on YouTube, which, I should know better. Never look at YouTube comments that are negative, but like they've used words like unlikable or, he's selfish. There was even one comment that said that, he needs a redemption arc. I'm just like, a redemption arc? Okay, Zuko from Avatar The Last Airbender was a character worthy of redemption arc. As much as I like Marco, I don't think his situation is that deep where he needs a redemption arc. So, Stump Day was pretty much Mimi's version of Christmas and stuff like that. And the Stump is apparently this spirit that only visits if, the spirit of friendship isn't taking place. It's, their version of Santa Claus, Santa only visits if you're good and he won't visit if you're naughty, except if you are naughty, he will visit you and apparently will kill you. So, Star is super excited about this, King River tells the lore and more Muni lore and stuff like that. She's, like, super excitable about this whole thing. But, Kelly, Tom, and Ponyhead are kind of at that age where they don't believe in it. Like, it is like Santa Claus. Like, okay, parents only tell you that, so, kids will be good around this year so they can have their children behave, at least for a little bit. While Marco isn't really as interested, he does plan a surprise birthday party for Star, seeing that it falls around the same day. Or either it's on the same day or around the same day. I was expecting Star to be happy, but she actually freaks out, which was hilarious, and says that, no, you can't have, celebrate my birthday. Like, the Stump is going to be pissed. Like, this day has to only be for, like, the Stump. And Marco's just like, well, your birthday's pretty special, too. Why can't we? And she's just like, no, and, like, starts popping the balloons, getting rid of all the presents. Marco even brought a mariachi band from Earth, and, she tells him to get out, too. And this leads to what's probably going to be a very either controversial or very, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, like, short version is going to make the Tom co-fans happy. It leads to a scene where Tom is just like, see, dude, I told you she wouldn't want a birthday, but, that's what happens when you don't really listen. And then Marco's just like, well, at least I tried to throw a birthday party. I mean, like, you're her boyfriend. Aren't you supposed to be doing something like this? And then I was like, oh. Everyone was like, oh, he done pressed the bad boyfriend button. He shouldn't have done that. Which, I agree. Regardless of whatever Marco is feeling right now, I know he's been going through a lot. I don't agree with that tactic. I think, their relationship is their business. I think that wasn't right. I don't agree with that at all. Tom, just turns around and was just like, what did you say? And Kelly tries to have Marco back off, like, dude, just take it back. It's not worth it. But he's just like, no, I know what I said. And this leads to a fight between Marco and, not a real fight, but like a kind of like a bro play fight and stuff like that. Which leads Ponyhead to say a funny little, just like, oh, look, Star, best birthday gift of all. Boys fighting over you. So I'm just like, oh, good. Now Star's getting her own harem. Gotta feed that shipping bait. Star tries to get them to calm down because she doesn't care if Tom forgot her birthday, because that's the point Marco makes. It's like, you totally forgot. Tom denies it and stuff like that. Jana, being Jana, seriously, she's just awesome. Just enjoying all of it. But Kelly is just like, well, how can you sit there? Marco almost got, like, burnt to a crisp. And then Jana's like, oh, you're just mad because Marco's fighting over Star and not you. And then I was like, oh no, god damn it, not another one. Kelly gets a little bit frustrated, wondering, why would you even say that? And Tad is still apparently in her hair. Tad, get out. Like, move on, dude. Which leads everybody to just start arguing. Star's trying to calm everybody down, which eventually leads to... Hold on, how do they... Yes. Star tries to open the windows to cool everyone off, because according to the Muni lore of Stump Day, that'll work. But, Marco closed the window saying that we're going to get hypothermia doing that. Like, it's too cold. And then Jana makes things worse by taking the stump, like there's a large stump to celebrate the holiday, and using it as firewood. Which causes very bad things to happen, because apparently the lore of Stump Day is real, and the giant stump starts attacking everybody. Moon and River come in and wonder, like, what the heck are you guys doing? And they're shocked because they're like, oh my god, it's real too, and Star's just like, does nobody believe in this holiday? And it looks like they're all about to die. They all kind of apologize for what they did. Kelly apologizes for not believing in Stump Day. Tom apologizes for forgetting Star's birthday. Marco apologizes for, starting this whole thing. Ponyhead apologizes, apparently, for making fun of Marco, but kind of takes it back. Not really in her own Ponyhead fashion sense. Fashion sense, wrong word. And so, this all leads to them holding hands, forgiving and stuff like that. And then, out of nowhere, they're all just sitting down, still holding hands in a circle. And Marco's just like, oh my god, we did it. Because, we appreciated each other and forgave each other. The Stump let us live. And Star's just like, no, dude, Stump Day's over. He would have killed us. I'm just like, that's kind of morbid. That thing would have actually killed them all. Star apologizes to Marco because she says even if the timing was wrong, she did appreciate the fact that he did throw her a birthday party, and they all party off and stuff like that. So a fun episode with plenty of shipping bait for everybody. Seriously, the fan service. The episode was good, but now I want to address the part that I was talking about earlier. Why the heck is everybody hating on Marco these days? And I don't like that word, because I feel like it's not even necessary. Like, if you prefer Marco act different, okay, I can get that. But I feel like he's being judged really unfairly, especially in this season. And it really even goes back before the ending of season 2 for Star Crush. A lot of people take issue with Marco because he didn't, essentially leave Jackie for Star. Which is, when I read the comments, what it all really boils down to. A lot of people were really like, well, that's what you get for just leading Star on. And I'm just like, what season finale did you watch? From where I saw it. And it could just be me. Please, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Star kind of confessed in front of everybody, while Marco was dating Jackie, that she liked him. And then pretty much essentially left because she had to go fight Toffee. Leaving him pretty much no time to respond or give a response to Star. So when it comes to the whole, that's what he gets for not, for leading Star on, I don't know what they're talking about. Now, during the whole Battle for Muni arc, that stuff had to take a back seat because, the Kingdom of Muni was in danger. What I will agree is that they should have talked about this issue, and I'm not just saying Marco, Star too. Like, remember, it takes two to tango. They both definitely should have talked about it, but instead, they hugged, wished each other well, and kind of separated without addressing the issue, because that always works well. And then Star didn't really handle it well either. She went back to her ex, which, regardless of TV shows, and yes, I cannot believe we're talking about dating stuff in a Disney show these days, that's never a good thing. Whether you're a girl or boy, personally to me, I don't think going back to your ex is a good idea. It's like heating up old McDonald's French fries. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. And I don't think that was really a healthy way for her to deal with those kind of feelings. Now we go over to Marco's side. I will agree on this. He definitely neglected his girlfriend Jackie. He definitely No problems on that. And for this episode, the Stump Day special, I don't agree with him calling out Tom saying that he's a bad boyfriend. Regardless of whatever you're going through, dude, that's not okay. I definitely agree with that too. But to say that people are saying that, oh, he's so selfish now, he's so, what's the word, like, you know, they're glad that he's being taken down a peg because he felt so entitled. Really? The safe kid, the guy who used to be the safe kid, who was so pretty much scared of taking any kind of danger and risk, is now entitled? What I just find funny about this whole thing is, like, entitled. Oh man. Sorry, I just kind of, it always just amazes me because Marco's anything but that. Like I said, him neglecting Jackie wasn't okay. And by the end of the episode, regardless of what happens, he does realize that. And again, not for him calling out Tom. But when this kid was, used to not want to take any risk, to now, he has that good character development. Now, I think the reason why people take an issue with this is because it makes them feel uncomfortable. But I can respect shows like that. Growth isn't always going to be, per se, positive at first. Sometimes you're going to have to experience pain. Pain is the best kind of growth you can get, unfortunately / fortunately. And to me, with this whole thing with Marco dealing with his feelings, it's the exact opposite of how Star dealt with her feelings. Which is just kind of opposite of their personality. Star was still is, more of an eccentric girl. She's like out there, completely confident, stuff like that. But the way she dealt with her feelings for Marco when she realized she started having them was repression. She wanted to pretend that they weren't there. I feel like a lot of people were more accepting towards that because, again, she wasn't really showing it. I mean, we saw it, but like as long as she wasn't bothering anybody else with her problems, it was fine. Still not good. The reason I feel more people are against Marco now is because he's kind of letting his emotions get out of control. Again, that's not great either. Both are like opposite sides of extremes. Neither are good. And I agree with that. I don't think Marco should just let his emotions run rampant. But it's the opposite of how he would usually handle situations. You have to see characters outside of their comfort zone. Otherwise, what's the point of watching a show? Any show. I mean, like, this is one of the reasons why you can't really call Star vs. the Force of Evil a kid's show. It does deal with some pretty heavy topics. Not only just with relationship stuff like that, but one of the biggest things that I've liked that Star's dealing with is the idea of racism. It's like maybe minute and stuff like that, but when I say minute, I mean like kind of, I don't want to say kitty down, but like it is dealing with racism in its own way. Stuff like this is supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. That's how you grow. When you're in a situation that you're not exactly confident in, it's gonna feel like that at first, but then eventually you grow and then your uncomfortableness becomes comfortable. I feel like people are just like, he's so unlikable. Not really. He's just going through a growth that maybe you personally don't feel like you don't approve of. And to me, I'd much rather have Marco go through this kind of phase than him just being the same safe kid. And like, if he was to deal with his feelings, his new feelings to Star, the same way Star did, that'd be boring. Like, let's just be honest. And, I don't know. I don't want to call it maybe what's the word I'm looking for? A double standard. Because, like, I go to moments where Star is jealous and stuff like that. And spied on Marco on his date. I look at the comments for that. I don't really see nearly as much negative comments about that. It's just like, oh, poor Star. Like, are we not going to address that as a serious invasion of privacy? And yet, Marco, while agreeing, has made some mistakes. People just like I said, he's unlikable. He needs a redemption arc. Really? I mean, if we're going to keep score here, Marco has done a lot more good things than bad in this season and in general. I mean, if we're going to Lava Lake Beach episode, Star and Tom were completely oblivious to the fact that Kelly was going through some stuff. And who was the one who talked to her? It was Marco, but no one ever seems to bring that up. But, God, in the episode Sweet Dreams where Marco goes off and hangs out with Hecaboo, everyone's just like, oh, no, he's not staying loyal to Star. What? What show are you guys watching? And, like, have your own opinion. That's fine. And, feel free to disagree with me, okay? That's fine. Maybe I'm biased in a way too. Who knows? But at the very least, let's try to look at all characters equally and not just kind of let our emotions run rampant. Like, for as much as people say that Marco is, being, like, kind of different and stuff like that, they're kind of doing the same thing he's doing. Letting their emotions run rampant. They're just kind of be like, oh, that's it. He's completely unlikable now. No, not really. Like I said, he's just going through a growth period. And maybe it makes you uncomfortable. Maybe that's the point. But I'd much rather have... This, to me, is more interesting than just watching a character go through absolutely nothing. A character shouldn't be the same throughout the entire thing. They need to go through that kind of stuff. And I don't think he needs a redemption arc. I agree he needs to handle his emotions better, but maybe that's what he's going to learn at the end of it. I'm just more of a wait-and-see kind of guy. And again, if we're keeping score, Star has not been perfect herself this season either. I love the fact that she's taking her princess job more seriously and that she's trying to end the whole meanie racism. But there has been a couple of times where Star has acted out of her character, if we're going according to what people say about Marco. Like, in the same episodes, it wasn't Sweet Dreams. It was the episode where Marco's hanging out with Hekapoo, and she just kind of refers to him as her squire. Now, not saying that's not true, but, like, she kind of does it in a way that implies that, dude, like, you're supposed to follow my orders and stuff like that, instead of treating Marco as an equal and best friend. She herself said that the only reason she made him a squire was that they can hang out again. But in that episode, you have to admit, Star had a bit more of a bossy tone. And, like, when she finds out that he's hanging out with Hekapoo, she's like, she gets flustered. And, like, to be fair, he can kind of come and go. It's like, it's not like a slavery thing, if we're being honest. But I feel like these are the things that kind of gets glanced over. And, like, anytime Marco even sneezes wrong, that's it, he's completely unlikable. And I just go, bathroom. And I just kind of go, well, I feel like, you're looking at everything bad Marco has done without looking at the good things. Meanwhile, kind of ignoring all the not-so-pleasant things Star has done. And again, I don't want to focus more on the negative aspects because I'm more of a wait-and-see kind of guy. But I had to get that out there because I feel like Marco's just kind of been scrutinized unnecessarily. And it feels bad, especially seeing that there's a point to this. Like, Marco's supposed to be acting differently. He shouldn't be the same guy, considering everything that he has gone through from season 1 up till now. If he was the same person, I'd actually be really disappointed. That is the stuff that I'd be like, wow, Marco, you're a terrible character. And even then, I wouldn't say that. But that is the moment I'd be like, something's not right. He shouldn't be the same. Star's not the same either. Like, there are certain things that, I like about Star's change, certain things I don't. Same thing with Marco. But I'm willing to wait and see until it's completely all said and done before making anything. So before you say Marco's changed, just think this. Yeah, he's kind of supposed to. And if you don't like the change, at the very least, wait and see. Because so far, Darren and the rest of the writers haven't really given me a true reason for me to just stop watching the show. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say with that. Like I said, great episodes. Both of them are really fine, and if you like multi-shipping, you're really going to enjoy this. And like I said, be patient with these characters. We all have to remember, these guys aren't adults. They're 14 to 15 years old. They are hormonally stressed out right now. Like, people really need to remember that they are teenagers. They are going to make silly, silly mistakes. And I want to ask, whoever's watching, have you handled relationship stuff perfectly? Or do you look back in hindsight and say, wow, I could have did that a lot better? Just before we judge this fictional character, just remember that. That's all I'm saying. Nobody is perfect. It doesn't mean you glance over things that they've done wrong. No, you address them, but you do it in a fair way. Fair and unbiased. And I feel like I've given the best unbiased review as I could possibly give it. So those are my thoughts for this vlog, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of the holiday, and just take care of yourselves and be safe. Alright, peace.